Holy moly, there has been a huge Team Fortress 2 update called the Tough Wake update. But no worries, I will guide you through the changes. I will talk about the new campaign, the weapon changes, the new maps and more. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is TF2, of course. So, the Tough Wake update. Let's go over this, shall we? It looks a lot like the gunmetal update a while back, which included a campaign with contracts and weapon skins. Oh yes, they're back. Maps and of course weapon balancing. So let's go over the campaign first. It works very similar to the gunmetal update. You first off buy one of those passes from the Manco store. Then you use it from your inventory, and that gives you a campaign coin. And with that campaign coin, you can level that thing up. And you will also receive contracts over time and stuff. And if you complete these contracts, you will gain weapons with skins. This time around, the skins look a little bit weird. They look very exotic, some of them. Some of them look really good, but some of them also, I feel like they don't really fit with Team Fortress 2 too much, but hey. But more importantly, the weapon changes. Let's go over them, shall we? There are a lot of them. I won't be able to cover them all if I want to keep this video under 20 minutes. I think half of the weapons in the game changed. I will go over some of the major ones, and I suggest you guys go to the patch notes and then afterwards try out the weapons for yourself and see how they work now. The main thing that is very important is that the base weapon switch speed has reduced from 2/3 of a second, so 0.66 seconds, to a half of a second, so 0.5 seconds, which is really noticeable if you have played Team Fortress 2 for more than like 5 hours or something. It is really noticeable and it will take some time to adjust. I had some difficulties here and there where I switched to the wrong weapon because I switched too quickly. Also quite noticeable is that the panic attack doesn't automatically release its shots, which was, I think, one of the two main problems with the weapon in my opinion. Another thing is that the half Satuichi is now actually considered as a sword, which means that it has a longer range, but it also takes more time to switch out. And what's also really important is you can actually switch it out without getting a kill. You do get a penalty if you don't get a kill, that gives you 50 damage. And another thing is that it also can overheal when you kill somebody. The Conjurer and the Cruising Camper has also received some changes. The regeneration is now a little bit different. The regeneration overall has increased, but is lower when you've recently taken damage. So basically when you're not getting shot at, you have more health regeneration now. The Cleanest Carbine is also buffed a little bit. And the mini-quits can now be activated whenever you want. So that's very interesting. What's less interesting is that the Degreaser has been nerfed. Dick move, Valve. Dick move. That was like the only flamethrower I'd like to use. Mainly the Air Blast and the Afterburner have been nerfed. I basically have to relearn Pyro because of this weapon not being that good anymore. But then again, as I said before, the weapon switch speed got reduced, so maybe it's actually viable to go with one of the other flamethrowers. And I still use the combination flamethrower with the flare or the shotgun. But you might have to like relearn how Pyro works if you are like a Degreaser fan like me. What's also really significant is that Pyros now gain 20 health when they extinguish teammates. This is a very good change, I think. This kind of motivates Pyros to actually extinguish their teammates. Medics gain now more health when they heal injured teammates. They gain slightly more health regeneration, which I thought was interesting. They also gain Uber 3 times quicker while still in setup time. So that's really useful. If you see like, we have 3 snipers, 2 heavies, but we have no medics, what the hell? But there was only 10 seconds left on the setup timer. You can actually switch now and still have a decent amount of Uber charge. The Amputator and the Crusader Crossbow will now actually also give you Uber charge, which I think is also really significant. Demo man wise, not too much has changed. Some of the weapons got balanced, but the major one is probably that the Shield Bash. This now deals damage at all the ranges, and it scales bit by distance that you traveled. Now there are a lot of more changes here and there, but I highly recommend checking out the patch notes. and then just play the game and try out all the weapons. That's still the best way to find out what changed. Now, more importantly, let's go over the maps, shall we? Let's start off with CTF Landfall. This is a rather interesting map, I think. It has a tree in the middle, so I'm a big fan already. That's a huge plus. It's medium-sized, has some nice height variation. It looks pretty nice. It looks a bit sawmill-esque at daytime. What's really important to note about this map is that the intel is wide in the open, so I highly recommend putting some people on defense if you don't want just a random scout passing by and picking up that intelligence, and you won't be able to stop him. The next map is also one that I quite enjoy. It is CB Vanguard. It's nice and big, yeah, it has enough side passages. It also has quite a lot of height variation. It looks pretty good. It doesn't really look like any other Team Fortress 2 map I've played, actually. Looks like the area is still under construction, which I do like. It's a nice touch. Then there's King of the Hill High Pass. Oh, I really like this one. It's a rather small map, but yet it's really good. Has good gameplay. It looks visually pretty good. The gameplay wise, it actually looks a bit like Badlands and Nucleus combined. Mainly just like Badlands, mini Nucleus for the circle around the main point, and then Badlands for all the rest. And last but not least is Payload Snowy Ghost. This is of course a payload map. It is a bit of a snowy, dark environment. I'm personally not too fond about the aesthetics of the map, but it has some nice details here and there. Like the payload has to go to a cave at some point, and at the end there's like a weird disc thing, which I don't know what that's supposed to be. Maybe the creator can send me like a message explaining what that's supposed to be. It's not clear to me. And what's also really weird about this map gameplay wise is that the first point can be really difficult to push, which I don't really like all that much. And for that reason I think this map is probably my least favorite. I had some difficulties with getting spawn camped basically at the first point of the map, especially if they have like a sentry and a teleporter or whatever up on the first point. It can be really difficult to push there. You really need something like an overcharge to be able to push. Also, the last point is very difficult, but the last point is always supposed to be difficult in my opinion on the payload map. The rest, of course, actually isn't really difficult. It's very easy to push from what I've noticed. So those were the maps. Actually quite like them. I don't think there's a single one that I actually really dislikes. So overall they are pretty good. Also some other changes where there was some changes to the optimization, which was really interesting. Even though Team Fortress 2 can run on a potato machine, even high-end PCs can have sometimes unstable frame rate, like mine for example. Usually I'd play Team Fortress 2 at 300 FPS, no problems, but sometimes it tends to drop below 100, and especially while recording that's really annoying. But it's interesting to see that. I'm thinking that they probably are doing this once again for matchmaking. Same thing with the weapon changes. There has also been a new scoreboard. The scoreboard has been altered. It actually looks better, looks more modern. The only real drawback about this new scoreboard is that you can't tell your exact ping. It just shows like 4 bars. I'm not really a fan of that change, to be honest. The scoreboard does look better. That I do like. And there are also some manpower changes, but to be honest, nobody cares about that. If you'll excuse me, I'll go ahead and play out some more Team Fortress 2, since I can't play Overwatch anyways. And well, I want to play new stuff, so I suggest you do the same. Thanks for watching, and take care folks.